Alright everybody, we've launched on Chickamauga. We're getting ready to fish the Big Bass Power Hour and the Tin Cat tournament for Chickamauga. A bit different rules. Tin Cat standard, 3 fish limit, 12-inch minimum. But the Big Bass Power Hour is a larger tournament scale. It's a national size. And you can catch, it's a 14-inch minimum, unlimited catch, so it's MLF style, but every hour the largest bass wins $1,000. So we're aiming to catch some big fish. If we can get numbers too, that's great, but ultimately we're trying to catch big fish. So we got big fish lures on, big chatterbait. I've got my glide bait on. We know we're around a bunch of boat houses. We're in the back of Savannah Bay, so we're just going to get out here and have some fun. We didn't get to do any pre-fishing, but water temps have, I heard they were mid-60s earlier in the week, but now it's sitting just above 56.5. So that might affect them. We might have to fish a little bit slower. We'll see. But we're going to go out here. We're coming in blind, but all it takes is one big fish to win $1,000. We've got over 100 anglers, so $1,000 big bass. And biggest wins a native kayak, so we're looking forward to that. I'm also playing with a new toy. Got one of the new Kistler Abrams. This is the Deuce version, as you can see by the big gun there on the handle. It's a medium heavy, a really sensitive rod tip. It's the extra fast, extra sensitive, so it's got a really good bend to it. So I'm looking forward to playing with this thing. Throw my chatterbait on it because it's my go-to. So we're just gonna come out here and have some fun, see if we can't catch some big old bass. So come along with us. Let's go catch some big fish. He might be 14. He just might be big enough. We'll see. I don't know that he's big enough for the big tournament, but he might be big enough for Tin Cat. Oh, his fin's out of, yeah, it's only 12.5 inches, but 12 3/4, a little bit too small for the native, but it'll work for Tin Cat. We'll catch some more.
Well, Clyde and Michael headed around that other bank. I may end up doing the same thing. I don't know. I wanted to hit this riprap and I wanted to hit these laydowns. May go back down through here with the crankbait. There we go. Well, not exactly what we're looking for. Not even scoreable for the Tin Cat tournament, but there's our first fish on the board anyway.
A little bit bigger, mayhaps. He might be 14. Yeah, I think he'll be 14. You got one? Nice.
14 even, that's not big enough, is it?
14 even's big enough. Get a picture of him, then you can submit it in the app.
Do I just take a real picture and then I can submit it later, or do I have to do it from the app?
You can take a picture and submit it from, you can take a picture and submit it later in the app. This one might be 14 exactly. Nope, 13 3/4. All right, guys, keeper number 2 for Tin Cat, 13 3/4. nice healthy fish right here in the shallows. Hopefully there's some bigger ones out here. I'd like to catch some for the native, but at least I've got 2 for tin cat, and then Michael just caught 1 for native. That's good. Catching fish.
All right, I'm gonna refish this bank now with crankbait. We managed 1 off of here with the chatterbait. I was kind of surprised that there's not more. Yeah, that feels a little better. Yes, sir. That's better. That's more what we're looking for. He ain't a monster, but he'll score. All right, there he is. First scoreable of the day, 15 inches on the red crankbait. On the OG Rocco. And classic red crawfish. Throwing it on my medium action bait caster. The Kistler Helium. Yeah. Kistler Helium, Kistler Chromium reel. 6.6 to 1 gear ratio. So there we are. We are on the board. Yeah.
That's a better sized one. He might be 14. Oh, that was close. Get it. Nope. Yeah. Nope. Ned rig. I'm sorry. I don't think he's 14 inches though. But he might just be. Daggone it. 13 3/4 again. All right, guys. Another one, 13 3/4, just short of the native big bass one. But that's 3 keepers for tin cat, so that's a good thing. Hopefully, we can get some bigger ones as we move further back into the cove. Maybe if they're really on beds, then they might be further back. We'll see. But we're gonna keep on catching them. Good grief, that wind is freezy. That wind is cold. Do what? I know. Yeah, wind makes it hard to fish the Ned rig. Oh, I missed him! Dadgummit! I know, my hands are chilled beyond chilled. Yep. Do what? The water is warmer than the air. He's 12 1/4. Too short for me. He's not going to call anything for tin cat. Too small for the native, so let that one go. See if we can't catch some more. There's got to be some bigger ones back in here somewhere. Ned rig. I don't think he's big enough to cull anything though. They're on the seawall, they're just not very big. He might be 14. Oh, you stop that. You're taking advantage of the fact that I cannot feel my fingers. $12 3/4, so no bigger than my. Alright. Same size as my smallest fish, so I'm gonna let him go. But we're catching them along the seawall. You have to figure out where the big ones are. They might be further shallow, we'll see.
Well, getting fish, but they ain't big enough.
Another, oh, well, I think he's going to be short too. Yep, 12.5. Not exactly the Chickamauga largemouth we're looking for, but at least they're biting. We have some kind of pattern, maybe, just maybe, we can get some bigger ones. He's small. He might be slightly longer than my smallest. Nope. Nope. 12 1/4. Another short one. Hopefully as we go further back in the cove they'll get bigger. You might come over here. Kind of sheltered here. Do it? I know. Take cover for a little while.
The sun feels nice when you don't have wind on you.
I know. The wind's coming from the northeast, so it's... That one's slightly bigger. That'll do. That'll keep for both. There we go. That's the bigger fish we're looking for. Finally a keeper on the Big Bass Power Hour. He looks to be about 15, so he'll at least keep. And we'll replace one for Tin Cat. Pretty bad when the fish is warmer than the air. It's warmer for the fish down under the water than it is for the rest of us up here. He is 15 3/4. All right, guys. First bigger one of the day. 15 3/4 off the seawall. If we can catch a few more of those, we'll be in good shape for the Power Hour. But it's been kind of hard day of fishing. But it's at least a good sign. Although that wind is bitterly cold. Yeah, I know. Hush. You hush. He might do. At least it looks like they're getting bigger back in here. He might be short. I don't know. $14 1/4. 14 1/4. Keeper number 2 for the big one. And it upgrades me a Tin Cat. Ooh, but it's chilly. Hopefully as we go back further, it'll keep getting a little bit better. This might be where the bigger ones are at. They might be closer to spawning than the others.
Nope. Well, another short. I don't think he's big enough. I think he's gonna be short, but we'll measure him just in case. My smallest is 13 3/4, so a keeper for the native would do it, but I don't think he's. I don't think this one's quite there yet. Nope, 12 and a half.
Too small to keep, so we'll let that one go. We made our way back to the cove, hoping to find some shelter from the wind.
Good grief, he took off like a far more serious fish. I think he'll keep. He might upgrade for 10 cat too. Oh, good grief. You're being feisty. 14 and 14 and a half right there.
All right, guys, another keeper. This will be good for both tourneys. I'm gonna let this one go. Try to catch some more back here in this cove.
Another short.
Do what?
I didn't say anything.
Oh. $15 3/4 on the Ned rig again.
He looks short, but we'll measure him just in case. There might be another one back in there with him. Yep, short.
12 and a half. There's your 12-inch minimum. I'd be kicking tail. But hopefully there's some bigger ones back in here too.
Little guy.
You suck.
He ain't big enough to cull anything. We're gonna let him go.
Is he shooting at you?
I hope not. I didn't think I did anything. Oh, there's one.
I don't know that he's 14. He'll score. All right. 14.5 inches. Not really much of an upgrade, but it's better than nothing.
Yeah. There we go. Finally. I think he'll at least score for 10 cat. Yeah. No. All right. Scoreable for 10 cat, but not for the native one. Back he goes.
Maybe there'll be a little more from there.
It's possible. Yep. You know how many fish I've caught doing this?
None?
A lot. Oh,
Is that a fish?
yeah, it is.
Okay, I take back everything I've said.
In fact, that's a good sign.
That's pretty big one.
Yeah, it is. Get in the net. Get in the net. Yeah.
What are you trolling with?
Chatterbait.
Stringy one?
Yeah, stringy boy. He is 18.25. All right, guys. Biggest one of the day so far, 18 inches. I don't know if he'll be big enough to get an hourly big bass, but he could be. I've taken hourly big bass in a smaller tournament with a 14 before, so. Anyhow, we're gonna try these flats for a little while, see if we can't get some more. Right on the seawalls.
Oh, I just caught one. I just caught one. Oh, quick release. He wasn't scoreable anyway.
Yep, cast over that direction. Oh no, are you serious? I've got to replace this reel, it sucks. See if he's big enough. I don't know that he is. I don't think he's quite 14. He is 13.25. Short, trolling across the flats. We're gonna try to get some more.
All right, well, didn't have my thing on, but got another one. Looks like he'll score. See if I can't get a measurement on him. Got him up off the seawall over there. It'll score for the 10 cat tournament. As far as I can tell, it is.
Toss him back.
Oh yeah, GoPro capture. See if you can pull another one.
That's what I was hoping for, is catch big bass at 159 and then catch big bass again at 2 p.m. Can buy my computer when I go home.
All right, there we go. My best one on the day, 16 and a half. He's a chunk though, I tell you that. Back he goes. Oh, well, I have a limit, so that is good.
Are you freaking kidding me? No. No, are you serious? Oh, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord. You might score. I think you will. He's 14. Oh, thank you, Jesus. I don't think he's quite 14. He might be 13 and a quarter. Too small. I'm going to try to get at least one more. Hopefully some more. Just trolling across these flats. All right, guys, it's the end of the tournament. We'll see how we do. I've got at least one that's possibly big fish. I caught that 18 between 1 and 2 p.m. So there's a possibility. I don't think they ever really had full placements on that I could see, so I never looked. But I got a limit for 10 cats, so that's good. And hopefully that'll be good for AOI standings. And then caught 92 inches total. I missed a couple of nice big ones. I wish I'd gotten those in the boat, but it is what it is. I loosened the drag too much on my reel. It's probably what lost me both of those fish. So I'm just going to troll back to the boat ramp, and then we're going to head to check-in, just in case there's in case we might get big fish. Who knows? Maybe one of those two caught something big while I was over here just trolling around. But we'll see. Just gonna head on back to the boat ramp, and I'll let you know what happens from the desk.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking to the end of the video. We hope that you enjoyed it. I'm going to be a little bit quiet on this one. It is currently 5:20 in the morning when I'm recording this, so just got a little bit busy, but I wanted to get this video uploaded. So, another tournament without any practice going into it, and on top of this being a 10 cat tournament, we also have a national tournament on top of it with the Big Bass Power Hour, and there was actually a second one that I wasn't aware of called Bass in USA, and so this was a very large tournament. There ended up being 115 total fishing the Big Bass Power Hour, and then 10 cat had a pretty large turnout. We had 47 total anglers in the 10 cat tournament. So even though things kind of started out a little bit slow and that wind coming in was really chilly, we were not expecting that wind to be coming from the northeast. If I remember correctly, that was not originally what was projected for that day, but that northeast wind was freezing. We had to take shelter several times. As you saw in the video, we had to go and hide behind boathouses just to warm back up because we were wearing our summer fishing outfits. So, but it ended up being a pretty good day overall, and I ended up for 10 cat finishing in 8th place out of, again, 47 anglers, so that's a top 10 finish. But with this being such a large tournament and a lot of people double dipping, I should get higher placement for AOY and state team for that tournament. My dad finished in 23rd, which is again not terrible for a 47 person tournament, and with it being in conjunction of 2 national tournaments. Now for the Big Bass Power Hour, which again, this was all you can catch, so it was MLF style. I ended up finishing in 15th out of 114 anglers, so that's actually a pretty good placement for a national tournament with no practice. I would have finished higher if those 2 I had not lost, but I can confidently say, or at least try to make myself feel better, that I would have gotten those in if I'd had a better reel on. I wanted to order a specific chromium reel to go on my Abrams rod for my chatterbait, but it was out of stock, so I threw an old Shimano on there. It's probably about 12 or 13 years old, and the drag was starting to give apparently, because I would loosen the drag 2 or 3 clicks and then it just about start free spooling. But if I wanted it to tighten up to where it was before, I'd have to rotate it around almost a full turn. So the drag was definitely not, it wasn't working quite how it was supposed to, but that's primarily why I lost those 2 decent sized ones, is because the drag just started free spooling essentially, and I lost both those fish because they got slack in the line. But if I'd gotten 2 just 14-inch fish, that was 28 inches, that would have put me up at 120 inches, which would have actually gotten me up into 8th place, which would have put me in the money. And I think that first one was about 14 to 16, and that other one I lost while trolling towards the end of the day, I think was closer to 16 to maybe 18, because it was pretty big. But not much to be done about it now. I ordered a new chromium on the way there. It's one of the chromium feathers, so it's the updated version of the reel, and I'm probably going to do a video on it here in a few days because I really like the new upgrades they've done to it. It's got some really cool features that I want to show y'all. But again, 15th place for me, and then my dad finished in 52nd, and that's again out of 114 anglers, and for no practice, it's pretty good. But the cool thing about being this far in the season is we got our first official state team and AOY standings after this tournament. And as of the end of this tournament for state team, we are sitting in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th and 8th for state team standings, and the top 10 will be moving on. So we know that the top 10 plus 2 tournament series directors, so 12 total. But if we finish in the top 10 for state team rankings, then we will qualify for the state team, which is one of our biggest goals for this season. And just like I'd stated a little bit in a few other videos, with these joint tournaments, there's a possibility that we will place higher for 10 cat because people fishing the tournament might not be competing for AOY or state team because they haven't become 10 cat members. So, for instance, Chickamauga, the one we just fished, even though I finished in 8th place for 10 cat for the tournament, only 2 people ahead of me were 10 cat members, which means I got the points for a 3rd place finish for 10 cat. So 98 points with 100 going to person in 1st place and 99 going to the person in 2nd place. So that's pretty cool to get technically a 3rd place finish for the points for the state team. And that's the same thing. My dad's got a 3rd place finish on Cherokee, but because it was a joint tournament and other people were fishing that were not 10 cat members, he didn't place technically that high in the standings for that tournament, but he finished 3rd overall for 10 cat members. For AOY, so the difference between state team standings and AOY is state team is your top 5, tournaments is counted towards your points, and then AOY is your top 7. So for AOY, we are currently in 10th and 11th. But to this point, we've only fished 6 tournaments. We didn't get to fish Dale Hollow this year. So we have one where we have 0 points. So we finish a tournament and we're going to get bumped several points. Even if we finish in 14th, 15th place, we're going to get 80 to 85 points. That's just going to be added on as our 7th tournament, and then from now on, we'll be replacing our lowest scores. So we have a few in the low 80s that we need to get replaced to do well and place in the top 10 for AOY, hopefully a little bit higher. So we'll see how that happens. I think that about covers all the information for this tournament. I'm going to do a bit of a breakdown, sort of a mid-season update, just talk about the standings and how we've done in tin cat placement for the tournaments that we fished so far. But what you expect coming up, we have the Fort Loudon tournament for tin cat is the next trip we made out, but this was interesting. Normally the boundaries for Fort Loudon for tin cat is the South Knoxville Bridge, which is the James White Parkway Bridge, right where the Tennessee River goes through the city of Knoxville. And that's maybe 2 or 3 miles downstream of where the French Broad and the Holston River merge into the Tennessee River. That's usually the upper boundary. You can launch there and you can fish upstream. And then, of course, the bottom boundary is Fort Loudon Dam. But this year they made it a little different. You can launch anywhere downstream of the Cherokee Dam, which is the next dam up the Holston River, or Douglas Dam, which is the next dam up on the French Broad River. So the Holston and the French Broad Rivers were both in play, which made this a very different tournament. So that should do well for us. It should have. Granted, we've already fished it, but you'll see what happened in that video when I can get that one up and edited. But I think that should cover about everything. I hope y'all have a fantastic weekend, and we will see you in the next one.